And welcome back to another episode of TWiP Weddings. My name is Bruce Clark, and this week I've got a special interview lined up here with Ben Chernivsky from Gifyyy Booth. Hey, Ben.
How you doing?
Welcome to TWiP Weddings. Happy to have you on the show.
Happy to be
This week
here.
we're going to be talking, yeah, awesome. So this week we're going to be talking about Gifyyy Booth. And Gifyyy Booth, I first saw a few weeks ago when I was at Canada Photo Convention. And it's a pretty exciting new product that I think wedding photographers can potentially add to their service offerings to help increase sales and maybe close some bookings. But before we get into that and talking all about Gifyyy Booth, we want to remind you how you can interact with the show. We've got a few different ways. First off, you can visit the website at thisweekinphoto.com. Just click on the weddings link, and there you'll find all the episodes. And we have show notes for every episode we record, so you'll find links to everything that we talk about in this show there. If you have a question or a suggestion for a topic for a future episode, just click on the Contact Us link at the top of the page, and then make sure you select TWiP Weddings from the drop-down list to send us a message. If you prefer using Twitter or social media, just add the hashtag TWiPWed, and we'll keep an eye out for your posts. And if you feel like getting social with us, we're on Instagram. You can follow us over at TWiPWed. And we also have a Facebook group, which is just search for TWiPWed on Facebook, and you can join our group there. So without further ado, let's jump into the show. So like I said at the top of the show, I've got Ben here with me. And Ben, you're a wedding photographer, correct?
Yeah, I'm a full-time wedding photographer out here in Chicago.
Yeah, awesome. In Chi-Town. Sorry about your Hawks, man. I thought they were going to go farther this year, but
another sports fan trying to talk to me about something I don't know about.
Well, Awesome. Well, Ben's I guess, do we call you the creative genius behind a pretty cool solution that I saw a few weeks ago at Canada Photo Convention. It's called Gifyyy Booth.
Yeah.
So I borrowed some ad copy from your site. So you correct me if I'm not describing it right. But basically, Gifyyy Booth, it's a portable photo booth that's easy to set up, lightweight, ultra portable, compact, and self-sufficient. Does that describe it pretty accurately?
Yeah, you got it. Essentially, it's a ultra portable, simplified photo booth solution with marketing tools. So, yeah, that was pretty good.
Excellent. All right, perfect. So I can be your pitch man then.
Right on.
Perfect. So before we get into talking about the Gifyyy Booth, because again, it's a really cool solution. I think wedding photographers could really benefit from adding this to their kind of service offerings. Let's talk just a little bit about you. So who is Ben, and tell us a little bit about your studio and your wedding photography.
So I am Ben Chernivsky. A very long Russian last name. But yeah, I've been full-time wedding photographer for about 4.5 years now. I mean, I shot my first wedding way back in like 2005. So I've been around shooting weddings, but I was finishing up a very long college career.
Yeah. What was that? What were you doing in college?
Everything.
Yeah.
Traveling the world. I went to 3 different colleges, very indecisive. I kind of like one of those people that just loves everything and couldn't decide, like very indecisive through that discovery process, but I was very grateful for it, which is another story all in itself. But yeah, I ended up with a major in creative writing, poetry. So
Okay.
of all things.
Excellent. Well, no, that probably comes in handy when because I know a lot of photographers that struggle with the writing end of things because they're trying to do blog posts and trying to do content for their site, and they just have a hard time with words. So
I'll be honest, I do too. I overthink and overanalyze my words, so I tend to get very in depth and drawn out. So the struggle is still there. Trust me.
You're just more eloquent with the struggle, right?
Yeah, maybe sometimes you'd be surprised. Creative writing truly drove me nuts in a weird kind of way. I'm very happy to be a visual artist now. But yeah, anyway, like I studied college for a while. But right now, yeah, I run a full-time wedding photography studio in the city. That is my primary source of income. I run a team model, so there's 3 other photographers working with me. And I've been starting to do documentary family sessions. That's where my heart's at right now. So I'm working through rebranding for family photographs.
Nice. So you still plan to do weddings, or kind of do you want to transition more into the family side of things?
Yeah. I'll always do weddings. I have a big part of my heart is just being a part of that day with other people. But I have an 8-month-old daughter, and so I'm of course, rethinking how I want my weekends to look over the next 10 years.
Yeah, that's a big commitment. A lot of wedding photographers that get into it don't realize that, yeah, you're basically kissing your weekends goodbye for a large portion of the year.
Which I'm totally cool with. Like, honestly, like, I've been married for 5 years. I got married in 2010, and it was great. Like, my wife, she was a bartender. So she also had like really wild hours. And so basically, like, Monday, Tuesday that was my weekend. Yeah, no worries, man. But when you have a kid, for me, it changed. I'm not going to say for everyone it changes, but for me, I'm like mostly interested in hanging at home and being a very boring, domesticated suburban father.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with
that. That's right.
So what led you into photography then? If you were kind of going the college route and doing the creative writing and stuff, what was photography something that you always had done prior to that, or?
Yeah, it was, it's just this like very deep fascination. I was one of those kids. Like, I remember, like, even before I could read or write or probably mostly communicate with words, I remember like fumbling through National Geographic magazines and just being fascinated by seeing the world. And it was my dream for a very long time to be a documentary photographer or photojournalist, and I pursued that. And that was really what kickstarted me into like studying photography. But I'm so glad I'm not in that industry. Nothing against it or the people that work hard for it. I have friends that are in the industry and they're very talented, but for me, it just wasn't the right match. I was very like zealously trying to like become the best as I could as an artist or a photojournalist, and I forgot it. You have to have heart. You really have to have heart to be in that industry, and you have to sacrifice a lot. And I don't think my heart was in it. I think I wanted to win it. I didn't want to be a part of it, though, in a way that, like, so there's so many people that their heart is in it for the right reasons. I just couldn't compete with that.
Yeah, that's good. It's great that you recognize and realize that and were able to change your focus, because there are people that commit to it and they don't want to give up on it, so they go in and then they just become miserable because it's not what their heart's not in it, right? But they kind of get stuck in it because that's making a living, right? So
yeah. So I just one of my issues shortly after I got married was I realized I was like trying to do everything. Like, I wanted to be magazine photographer, photojournalist, wedding photographer. And I think I went to like PDN Photo Plus back in like 2010. And one of the messages I heard just over and over and over, just because I think like I needed to hear it, was specialize. You got to specialize. So I was like, okay, I'm going to specialize. I'm going to commit to something for 10 years. And I chose wedding photography. So, I have till 2022 as a wedding photographer. And it was one of like the best decisions I ever made, because it, like, for someone like me who's distracted by everything that I see, it was like, no, you must do this.
Yeah. I think a lot of photographers probably find themselves in that position, right? Particularly when they're starting out, they're maybe not sure what they want to shoot, right? What they want to focus on. So they kind of focus on everything, they don't focus on anything. They shoot anything that comes their way. Particularly if they're just starting out, they're trying to build their business. So they're afraid if they say no to opportunities, they're going to miss out on something. So they start shooting like everything under the sun. And I was guilty of that too. I had shot stuff, and you quickly realize stuff that you don't want to shoot. Like, I do not want to photograph newborns. Like, newborns they're not my thing. Tried it, no, not my cup of tea. I know other great photographers that are awesome at that. They specialize in that. Awesome. I get, referrals. I'll send them their way, and vice versa. Some of them, they don't like doing weddings, or they don't like doing some commercial work. So they'll send that back my way. So I actually get more work because I've specialized and because I've identified like, here's things that I don't like. Move on, right? Rather than trying to beat a dead horse and do something that you don't hate, something that you don't love just because, maybe it's bringing in a little bit of revenue, right? But it keeps you from other opportunities.
I will say though, like, I'm like really stretching the line these last few years. I got a business coach a few years ago, and he really like pushed me to kind of get out of my own skin. And that's actually the reason Gifyyy exists right now. But I'm as I told you earlier, like, I'm doing family photography now, and that's I've really enjoyed doing that. And I'm recreating another brand, and I started Gifyyy, and I'm like, am I getting distracted?
Yeah.
Should I just go back to being a wedding photographer?
Well, the family is a pretty natural fit, I think, for a lot of wedding photographers, right? Where they're capturing kind of this life cycle, right? They're getting people, you know, from when they get engaged to when they get married, and then when they start their families, right? And doing family photography is kind of a natural extension, I think, for a lot of wedding photographers. You know, again, for us, we do family photos, but we won't do, you know, we're not doing the pose newborn stuff, right? That's just not our cup of tea. But if they want more of a, like you're doing more of the documentary lifestyle type, then that's, I love that type of photography. That's more up my alley, right? But not.
Yeah, you're right. It fits into the brand, but it's a totally different model. It's very much different. Like how I handle like family clients is way different than how I handle wedding clients. So, yeah. I'm still working through it. I'm still trying to like, I know it's like the right fit for me. I just hope I'm not getting distracted.
No, it's easy to do, right? So I'm guilty of that too, right? So I think we all have a little bit of ADD in us. So
a little bit, there's a lot to be distracted about.
Shiny things. Shiny things. So speaking of shiny things, Gifyyy Booth is a shiny thing. Tell us a little bit about. Well, we explained a little bit about, but tell us what is Gifyyy Booth and why is it different, say, from other? It's a photo booth solution, right?
Yes. It is really simply put, like Gifyyy photo booth. Speaking of distraction, what was the question again? Like, well, just re-clarify.
Give us kind of a high level view of what is Gifyyy.
What is it? Overall.
Overall. We kind of described it off the top of the show, but let's.
Right. Well, quite simply, like Gifyyy is just a very simple photo booth solution for wedding photographers. Now I put it in that context for wedding photographers. I actually put it in the context of for creative wedding photographers because I really created it from a creative point of view. I wanted a photo booth because there's a stream of revenue within the industry right now where you can just make extra money from a device like a photo booth, and there's a lot of demand for it. But there, like, nothing fit the bill for my creative lifestyle on the wedding day. I did a do-it-yourself booth, and I did a ton of research on like all these other booths that look beautiful, but they're just so much work, man. They really, really require that you hire staff or an attendant or have really heavy additional baggage. And being a documentary photographer like that, there's a lot of creative freedom in not having baggage.
Right.
So essentially, like I really from the ground up, I created a photo booth solution for creative wedding photographers that do not want to be distracted by photo booths or the traditional photo booth. And I will say we wildly succeeded in that. It's like really, really awesome to see like what it is and how light and portable it is, and how stupid simple it is. But the cool thing is now it's like totally being sucked up by like other people outside of the creative wedding industry. Like we have photo booth companies that are also in love with it, that are like, they're like, I will never touch a regular photo booth again. We have like marketing companies that are interested in it. We have like other photographers that are interested in doing like event photography, and even like boudoir photography studios. They just want to like stick it in their studio. So it's really cool to see like it hasn't been contained. Like, even though the idea came from the love of like creating a simple solution for a wedding photographer, like other people are seeing like the benefit in it. But I'm getting way too off subject.
No, that's good. That's good. That gave us kind of a good overview of it. So the actual solution itself, it's kind of a two-part solution, right? There's a hardware piece to it, but then I think probably the more interesting part from a marketing, sales, business side of things is the back end and the software side of it. So take us through the hardware side of it a little bit and just explain kind of what it is. Again, we'll have some links to everything so people can go on the website, they can check it out, they can see, you know, photos of it and all the rest of it. But just kind of describe the hardware components of Gifyyy Booth.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing up the business part of that because that's really important. So I'm glad that we're going to talk about that. But the hardware side of it, like basically the hardware is it's really good looking. I created the whole hardware part of it to be like not only super portable and simple to set up, and it really does only take like a minute and 30 seconds to set up.
Which is nice, yeah. Because other photo booths I've seen can take like, you need an hour and a team of 2 people to put up walls and all this stuff, right? So
yeah, oh, totally. But the other part of it is like if you really think about like where we're at in like the state of the industry, it's like just beautiful stuff totally sells. And not to like keep it like shallow or keep the conversation shallow, but essentially like we're at a point where like aesthetics really, really matters. Like how you deliver galleries, how you package up your company, how you brand your company. And so what I'm really excited about with Gifyyy is it just like looks really, really incredible. And we've seen that like with other photo booths too. There's some like really beautiful photo booths, but I like Gifyyy because like it features these really beautiful vintage legs that are actually handcrafted here in America, and it's all machined with this beautiful aluminum. And then there's this really beautiful LED ring light up on the top that sits on these legs, again with some more aluminum backing. So yeah, just like the look of it, it's got this like really cool like 1950s vintage feel to it, and I think it fits with it's pretty universal with like a lot of different brands out there.
Yeah, which is cool. People will go, they'll go like they're drawn to it, right? People will go check it out because it looks, it's something they're like, oh, what is that thing over there, right? They want to go check it out.
Yeah, it just like looks really good. And I've gotten some people are like, oh my God, I can totally create that myself. I'm like, yeah, but I ain't gonna look as good, man. Like you're gonna have clamps and like an iPad and like this weird like thing that you bought off of like B&H. I don't know. Like it's getting away from like the clampy metal black feel of like so much photography hardware out there.
Yeah,
it freaking looks sleek, man.
Yeah, I really liked it when I saw it at out in Vancouver. I was like, hey, this thing looks pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome.
What is this thing?
Seriously.
Okay. So you've got the legs, and then there's the ring light that goes on it, and then it uses an iPad, correct?
Yeah. So the software is iOS only, so the only hardware you can use is an iPad. But it's compatible with all sorts of, like we have people using like the Pro, the new like large Pro, and the 9.7 Pro, but people are using iPad Air, 4th generation. Yeah, it's really nice. And the iPad is just simple. It's really simple. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so that's kind of the hardware. Is that it for the hardware piece of it? It's pretty simple, right? You've got the legs, the light, and then the holder basically that the iPad would go into.
And you can use a battery pack if you want. You can use a battery pack, so it's 100% portable. And then there's a soft carrying case that's included as well. So,
okay.
Yeah, for the most part, that's it. You literally thread the legs to the top part. The iPad's already on there. You turn it on, you're done. Like it's that simple.
So it's really easy to set up, right? Lightweight. So that's again key.
12 pounds. Yeah, it's like just stupid lightweight. Yeah.
Okay, so you get this all set up, and then what does it do? Like, what does it? We'll talk about the software kind of end on it. So there's an app then that goes onto the iPad.
Yeah. So and the user experience is one thing, and then like the owner experience is something else. But
so let's separate those. Yeah, let's talk about the user experience first. Then
let's say you're at a wedding, you see Gifyyy, you walk up to it. It's basically like a live video feed. So it uses a front-facing camera, and you'll see like a muted version of like whatever it's looking at, which is going to be you. So you see you, and then there's like a band across the screen that says "Touch Me." So people are like, yeah. And so what do? You go up to it and you touch it.
Yeah.
So you touch the iPad screen, and then it says "Ready, Set, Go, 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 go." And then when it says go, it's capturing 6 frames. So it's very quick. It's a very rapid process. But when it captures those 6 frames, it creates an animated GIF, and then it loops it back and forth. And then what it does is like after it's captured it just automatically like loops this animated GIF right in front of people. And that's where people usually giggle.
Right.
You'll get 2 reactions. You'll get the like, huh?
What?
Or you'll get like the crazy giggle, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom there's like there's again button if people want to do it again, or there's a send it to me button, which is a little bit larger. And if they press the send it to me, a dial pad pops up, and then like there'll be a country code, and you can actually define the country code, so it's universal around the world. But it's usually for like North America +1. And then people just fill in their phone number, and then they press send. and that user will get a text message right away. And what's happening on the back end is as soon as that GIF is created, it's connected to the internet. It's automatically uploading to a Gifyyy gallery. And a Gifyyy gallery is pretty unique because it's just a really beautiful way of showing GIFs and giving you all sorts of like powerful admin tools. So you're not just like uploading it to like Dropbox. You're not just like saving it locally to the iPad. It's literally like delivered. And then it sends a text message to that user with an individual link to that individual not the entire gallery, but to the actual individual GIF. So all the work is done. Like it's delivered, the online gallery is created, and that's it. I mean, it's delivered and the online gallery is created.
Nice. So the user experience is very simple. They don't have to. You don't really need an attendant there.
Nope.
Monitoring it, maybe just occasionally swing by it just to make sure that
Yeah,
tinkered with it.
You want to keep an eye on it. Like, but I mean, it's a wedding. Like, if I when I bring it to, like, we have it going to like 16 weddings this year. And in the past, like, it's just been this. Yeah, like I shoot weddings by myself. I occasionally bring an assistant, but I can confidently say, like, you can just set it up, put it in the corner, and focus on being a wedding photographer. Every now and then, you just everything's good. People are giggling.
Yep, still going. Yeah.
Yep. And like the other part that I really love about it is like you don't need props, you don't need backdrops, and I promote that and I tell that to my clients because it has that animated GIF like movement. That's the fun. You don't need props, you don't need backdrops. You just stick it next to a wall, you stick it next to the dance floor, you face it towards the crowd, so the venue essentially becomes the backdrop.
Yeah.
And it's done.
Nice. You don't need a giant box of fuzzy wigs and mustaches and things like that. So then,
although you can, and
you could, I suppose.
Some people do bring it. It's fun, but
just the animated GIF version, of it is kind of the appeal, right? That's what makes it a bit unique and a bit different, right? Because a lot of the other photo booth solutions, they just capture either a single still image, or maybe they do the strip, the little strip of photos or whatever, right? This is a bit different in that it's creating this animated looping video for them, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's great. And that's also, like, we're very open about that. We tell people, like, people are like, oh, does it print? And we're like, nope, that's it. Like, that's what it does. These animated GIFs, and it's very polarizing. People either love it or they hate it, but that's awesome too. Like, the way I see it is, like, polarizing products really reveal like parts of the market that are basically being ignored, if you ask me. Like our election right now in America, very polar. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, in a very like marketable sense, like, I really feel like I've discovered all these people that essentially never really, like, there are these people out there that don't want traditional photo booths. They think they're techie, they're dumb, everyone's doing them, and then they see like Gifyyy and they're like, whoa, dude, this is awesome, and they really want it. So to me, it's really fun to like to be literally finding like a whole market of people that previously wouldn't be interested in.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of the user experience. So again, it's nice and simple. You don't need an attendant, nobody there. Easy for the the client to use. What does it look like on the back end? How does the back? Because that's where I think the secret sauce is for wedding photographers, is kind of the back end and kind of the power that's back end of the solution. So let's talk more about
that. And this is where like light bulbs are about to go off for people who are listening. Like, if you're all business inclined, this will like kind of blow your mind. So what's really cool about the back end is essentially it's a massive marketing device. On the actual iPad, we're capturing all the mobile phone numbers, and when you log into your Gifyyy account, so there's a web account, and you log into it, you're going to see a list of all of the events that you've created, and you're going to have stats on every single one of those events. It's going to tell you how many GIFs were created, how many unique phone numbers were entered. But there's also like a text message bar, and it's like a little text message box, and that box allows you to send bulk text messages to everyone that used Gifyyy at that event. And you can send like a follow-up text saying, hey, thanks for coming to the event. Here's all the GIFs, and you can give them like the complete GIF gallery. Or you can say, hey, we created a Facebook preview. Go check out like the bride and groom's preview at our Facebook page, and then link them to your Facebook page. If you deliver the actual photographs and you want them to purchase prints, you say, hey, check out the print page for their wedding gallery here. So you can do so many different things with it, and basically you're redirecting people back to your brand. You can customize the gallery, so you can actually upload your company logo. You can use a light theme or a dark theme, depending on what your branding looks like. You can add a hashtag. You can add a link back to your blog or any URL. There's Facebook share and Facebook share and Twitter share buttons on every single individual GIF. And when people click to the gallery, there's an option to capture their email. So when people like click the back to gallery to see every single GIF from the event, there's a window that pops up that says, "Hey, please enter your email to register to this gallery," and then you get a list of all those emails. So not only are you able to reach out to them via text, but you have the option of letting them opt in via email as well. Outside of the wedding, away from the iPad, just on their own mobile device, they can just enter their email. So all of that is essentially a way to, it's data. You can reach out to those people. You can add them to your email list. You can, there's a lot of possibilities of what you can do with that. Of course, you want to do it in a tasteful way. You don't want to do it in a spammy way. I always tell people you want to be giving them something that's actually useful.
Right.
But ultimately, we're reaching a crowd of people that previously you couldn't reach at a wedding.
Yeah, it can be very difficult, right? Like we've experimented with different things at weddings, because again, you've got 100, 200 people possibly at at a wedding. An average wedding, right? Some smaller, some bigger, but that's the sort of that potential, right? And some of them, like we would give out, we would do these little card, like kind of little leave behind cards that would have a link, and the information to access the gallery, the online gallery that we do. And we saw some success from that, but again, people had to go and, we left them out in strategic places, near the bar, near the guest signing book, places where we figured that people would see these and pick them up. And, we had mixed responses from that. But I think the cool thing with this solution is that chances are probably most of the guests are going to go over at some point and check out the Gifyyy booth and create a Gifyyy booth. So you're going to increase the number of those people that are going to interact, right? And then you're capturing that information, which I think is really, really powerful.
Yeah. And a wedding of like 150 people, like I'm like positive when I'm very, very confident that like when I get back from that wedding, I'm going to have 80 unique phone numbers and probably like 30 unique emails at the end of, after about a week, the emails will like slowly come in. But that's pretty big, it's a pretty, it's not 150, but you're really reaching a large amount of those people. You
multiply that across 20 weddings.
Here,
right? And then you multiply that out across a couple of years, and suddenly that, that's generated, a few thousand potential leads, potential opportunities, people that have seen you working, right? People that have seen your work and could be a potential candidate for, even if they're not candidates for wedding photography, maybe they're a perfect candidate for you're having a family photo special or something, right? So you can reach out to them.
Like maybe like 3 weeks after the wedding, you could deliver like the wedding photographs. And then like right after that, send a text that says, do you have a family? Check out our family work. And then boom, a portfolio. And then of course, a ton of those people are going to have families. And then
having a birthday party for your 6-year-old, maybe they need Gifyyy booth at the birthday party.
Totally. And
right. So there's a lot of opportunities you can springboard from.
But Bruce, the thing that is really amazing about Gifyyy though is it's simple. Like it's simple. You're not importing phone numbers. You're not using Infusionsoft. You're not needing other additional software. You're not needing to make cold calls. You're not needing to like upload anything. It's done for you. Literally log in your account. Everything's uploaded. All it's there. You just type in a message, press send, done.
So that's all kind of built into your back end. Can you get, say, the email addresses, for example, can you export those out if you're using, say, another like MailChimp or something else that you needed to get for your marketing?
There is, right now it's just copy paste. So there's like there's a list on the event page. and you just, what I do is I just copy and then I paste into a CVS document and then save the CVS and import to, or actually you can actually, like MailChimp actually allows you to do copy and then paste. So you can just paste it directly into like an import screen on MailChimp. But we're actually working on some like power user functions. So we're eventually going to have like an export CVS, like email and phone number list. But that's down the road a little bit.
Down the road, yeah. Awesome. What other, so you mentioned there's some stats and things like that also in the back end. Lets you see.
Yeah. Pretty basic stats. Like the number of GIFs that were created, the number that were like uploaded, the number of phone numbers, the number of unique phone numbers. We're working on things like analytics right now. We literally just finished like the framework of the back end. So our next step is like making it a little bit more powerful. Like, hey, like how many times are images being shared via Facebook or Twitter, or like for people that want more like stats on like where, like how the gallery is being used and what people are doing with the gallery afterwards, we're going to start implementing some analytics.
Yeah, nice, cool. So as a solution for, again, we're speaking to our audience, which is primarily wedding photographers, how do you go about, or what do you recommend, or what have you seen out there in terms of marketing it to clients? Are you providing it as like an add-on or an incentive for them, you know, if they're going to book with you? Have you used it that way? Do you charge a certain amount for it? How do you position it with your business, or how have you seen it positioned?
So in the Chicago market, like how I have it priced out is essentially like I have like I run a Gifyyy company in Chicago, and there are people that like rename it, they create new brands, they do whatever they want. So I essentially run like a solo Gifyyy photo booth company here in Chicago, but I also, like my company, this is Feeling Photography, also owns a unit. So I have it as like an add-on product for my wedding photography packages. But then also I have like a separate pricing list for people that come to me outside of my photography services. So I give it to I give it to all my wedding clients at a discounted rate. I just want it to be simple. And to be honest with you, it's one thing to make money from it, but there's value in just collecting all the user data at weddings. Right. So I give it to people for like a rate that's pretty simple for them to swallow, just so I can get it to more weddings. But then, yeah, there's this other pricing list for events outside of my company, and that's for corporate events and birthday parties and people that don't hire me as a wedding photographer. That's going to be like a separate pricing list.
Right. So for those events, then is there somebody, like, do you just sort of send somebody out with it, they set it up, and then do they just kind of come back when the event's over? Or do they just
that's a good question. So we experimented with this a little bit, and at first I was like, yeah, you don't need to be there. I would like hire one of my friends. But that's not true. Like, you actually have to keep an eye on it through the night. It is, and now you're literally not going to do anything. You're just making sure like the app doesn't exit to the home screen, or someone doesn't like kick it out of position, or like anything. Who knows? Like
pick it up and walk off with it.
Yeah. You know, no, so many people ask us that. They're like, do people steal iPads? Will people just pick it up and walk away? Like, we've done over 100 events, and it's like, no, that stuff does not happen. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you want to be responsible. Like, make sure you have someone there for like a private event. So yeah, I do hire someone. I have a flat rate that I pay him for like 2 or 3 hours of work to set it up, keep an eye on it, break it down. But yeah, I literally, like, the most
they
of
don't
the
have
work
to do much.
is breaking it down. Yeah. Seriously, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, cool. Now, is it just going to do the animated GIFs, or can it be configured if they want, say, to do like more of the traditional like photo booths, like just still photos as well? Yep.
We're very upfront with people. The hardware on the front-facing camera is super limiting. It's a very low resolution camera. It's not that great in low light, and it doesn't have a super high shutter speed. So right now we're focusing 100% on GIFs because that's what works really well with the front-facing camera. But to answer your question, we actually are implementing still functionality into it by August of this year, and we're actually super excited about that. but we're telling everyone that buys Gifyyy, like, don't buy it just for like the still functionality.
Right.
It is not meant to be a competitor to very beautiful, high resolution photo booth companies that are really killing it out there. There's some like amazing photo booths out there, and we don't want people to like think that they're getting like these beautiful, high resolution, beautifully lit photographs from Gifyyy. It can produce really nice photographs, but it's just different. Like the frame formatting is different, how it's delivered is different. So we are like navigating our way through that, because so many people are just like, hey, I have a birthday party and they love Gifyyy, but they want still photos. We're like, cool, okay, like let's give that that option to this kind of person. But we really recommend people like sell it as a animated GIF photo booth. And maybe as the hardware gets better and better, we'll see things change. And that's another reason why we're implementing it right now, because our users want it. But at the same time, like, we realize the hardware is going to get better. So
yeah, nice. Yeah. What was I gonna ask? I just had a thought. It was off the top of my head, and the thought escaped me.
No worries, man. No worries.
But
we're gonna yeah, as I said, we're gonna have the still functionality like ready to go by August of this year. So right now, like, it's not ready, and we're recording here in spring, but we're pretty excited to get that up and going.
Yeah, that's cool. I know what I was going to ask you. So in terms of displaying the GIF itself, they don't need anything special, right? Like, you can go on Facebook. Facebook displays the GIFs.
Yeah,
they show up on their phone. Like, there's nothing special. They don't need any special software or anything on there and to view a GIF, right?
No. The great thing is, so we use Amazon S3 as our hosting host. Yeah. We use Amazon S3. I don't know what.
Yeah.
and so whenever we share the cloud, whenever you share to like Facebook or Twitter, well, Twitter, like, it just shares a link to the actual GIF, because Twitter, actually, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we've had people get it to animate on Twitter, but I think what they do is they convert it from a GIF to a video file, and then they show it on Twitter. But right now, with like when people share to Twitter, it shares the custom hashtag that you entered and then a URL to the link. When you share it on Facebook, it actually does implement into Facebook, and it animates. It has like a little GIF logo on it, so people have to click it in order for it to animate.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't autoplay, but yeah.
Yeah. And some people get confused, because what's really weird is, like, on iPhones, the photo library doesn't animate GIFs. So you can save it to your iPhone, and people like save it to their iPhone, and then they're like, it's not animating. It's because the photo library in iOS software just doesn't animate GIFs. So if you send that to a friend via text, or you send it via email, then it will animate. So, and I think the world is still like navigating around, like, hey, what do we do with these GIFs? Like, Instagram doesn't support animated GIFs.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. Yeah,
Instagram. We are convinced that, like, in the next year, they are going to support GIFs, because right now you have to convert it to a video file and then share it on Instagram. And we get a lot of people, hey, can you share on Instagram? We're like, no, actually, not right now. So either in the next year, we're going to build a video converter in the web app, so people can share it on Instagram, but what we really think is going to happen is we think Instagram's going to eventually support animated GIFs.
They'll just cave. What do you think of their new, totally unrelated rabbit hole, but what do you think of their new logo and interface design that they rolled out? We're recording this in May. They just rolled out a new logo. And
it's like, it's bright, right?
It's very bright. It's colorful.
I know people, I think it's going to like piss off all those people that are like, oh, like, I think people like the vintage feel of Instagram with like the old camera on it and everything. I'm like, whatever. I support change. You know, like a few months ago, like people were like pissed that Spotify changed their green color in the logo. Do you remember this?
They did? I didn't remember. I didn't even say that if they did.
And there were some, the Spotify, which is a great app, by the way, way better than iTunes. They changed their green from like a more natural, like, darker green to like kind of like a more neon green, and
oh my god,
dude, it pissed some people off like crazy, man. But now it's like no one ever talks about it, so it's like, and this too shall pass. Instagram users will get over it.
Oh, yes. I like the minimalist design, though. We'll say the new kind of interface is a little cleaner. They've gone with nice, simple, kind of white, black, very simple interface with Instagram. Cool. So it's a little bit cleaner interface, which is kind of nice. Their reasoning is they want to focus on the photos, right? So
maybe I should update my app.
Yeah, mine just updated yesterday. I just noticed, because I was like, where'd my Instagram logo go? And then I looked, I'm like, oh, that's it. Okay, all right. stuff.
My iPhone, like when I scroll over to like the app store, there's like a red dot with like 68.
Oh, you're
on
one
it.
of those
It's
guys.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just like, so yeah, I'll get around to it
Nice,
eventually.
nice.
Yeah.
So let's talk about cost on this on Gifyyy Booth then. What are
Yep.
people looking? So there's kind of two, I guess there's two sides of it, right? There's the hardware piece of
Yeah.
it, right? So there's the actual
Yep.
booth part of it, and then there's the back end piece with the event side. So maybe talk about the hardware side, and then let's talk about the back end side.
Yeah, so it's an all-in-one solution. You cannot purchase anything individually.
Right.
You can't purchase the app, can't purchase the hardware. So you just got to commit to the full price.
Right.
Right now, we're retailing for about $5,900 US. But right now we have an early adopter price. So the first 100 units we're selling for $2,000 off. So you can actually snap one up for about $3,900, which is really good.
US for our Canadian audience, it's just US.
Yeah. US. It's all US. But yeah. Occasionally we'll have like show specials. So if you find us at a show, you do want to find us at a show because we always have show specials.
Nice.
So yeah.
Excellent. Okay. And then how about the back end piece of it then? So do you pay like as an annual fee for the gallery solution? Is it per event?
We put a ton of thought in this because yeah, we do have hosting costs. We host all the gifts. We pay for the text messages. There's definitely some like back end admin work that we have to take care of. So you pay what you pay is a $39 per event fee. So if you want to set up an event, then it costs you $39. We have a free event option. It just saves locally to the iPad. So if you want to like test it or play around with it, or you have a smaller event that you're not making a lot of money off, cool, no worries, do a free event. But if you want the automatic uploading, you want the marketing tools, email capture, text capture, all that stuff, it costs $39. Easy solution. You just tack that onto your like regular price. So if you charge like $800 for a photo booth, just charge $850. Boom.
Right.
It's done. We played around with like monthly subscriptions and annual subscriptions and all that, but I feel like everyone's doing that right now, and I think it's like a phase, and we feel like we just thought we'd scare people off if we made people commit to a monthly subscription. So we feel really good about like, you know, pay as you go method essentially. Like if you have an event, you pay for it. If you don't, then you're not.
And then how long would they have the galleries and stuff like that? How long would the galleries be up for?
Right now, we have them up for a year. At 11 months, you'll receive an email notice saying, hey, this gallery's been up for 11 months. It's going to expire in 30 days. Do you want to keep it active? And then you have the option of extending it for another year. Yeah, so we're in our first year of business, so we're playing around. We feel like a year is really good, but we're going to constantly be changing. But right now, you get a year on the gallery.
Yeah. Can you download the GIFs and say you're providing them to the client on a USB or something like that? So you could do that as an option.
Absolutely. Files are super important. You have a download all option. You can deliver that to the client any way you want, for sure.
Cool.
Yep.
Very cool. That's exciting. So what's on the horizon for Gifyyy Booth? You mentioned a couple of things that you're working on. What are some other things that you got kind of coming up?
Yeah, we have a lot of really cool stuff coming up. We actually just built a 2-year roadmap for the company. Well, as I said, right now it's May. In June, we're actually starting a Kickstarter campaign, which we're super excited about, just because we really want to get this out to the world. It's a really, really relevant technology, and the people that have it just are freaking loving it. And I just want we just want to get it to as many people as we can over the course of the summer. So we're gonna do a Kickstarter campaign. Our next batch of Gifyyy units are going to be shipped out in August. We have a ton of software developments. We're adding software, still functionality. We're adding filters. We're adding custom GIF options, like how long you want the GIF to last for. So shorter or longer capture, white balance options. Yeah, power user functionality. So exporting to CVS. Yeah, we got a bunch of really cool stuff coming up.
Yeah. Are you doing anything with like a corporate branding or anything like that, where they could put, like, I've seen it at some events where they'll put like the name of the event or whatever, so it's kind of embedded into the GIF?
Yeah, that's done. So you have customized like logo branding up at the top of the gallery, but we also have like logo overlay, so you can upload another file that will like essentially like put that logo on the bottom third of the GIF.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, there's logo overlay.
Yeah.
Then that's already
Awesome.
part of it.
Oh, that's great. That's really good. So if people wanted to learn more about Gifyyy Booth, where's the best place that they should go?
Well, the most important thing is that you spell it correctly, because
Yes.
you're not going to find us if you don't spell us correctly.
Right.
So it is Gifyyy with 3 Y, so Gifyyy. If you Google it, just go to Gifyyy.com or Google Gifyyy. Or Facebook, if you go facebook.com/Gifyyy photo, so GIFYYYPHOTO. That's gonna be the best way of finding us.
Excellent. Very good. All right. Well, we'll put links to all of that in the show notes for this
Cool.
episode as well. And you're also offering a little special for our listeners as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
Cool.
If you don't make it to the show, just email us and let us know that you're listening, and just we'll give you $400 off.
Nice.
Just mention TWiP. Hey, I heard you guys on TWiP, and we'll give you an additional $400 off.
Nice. There you go. So there you go. TWiP Weddings just saved you guys $400. So there we go. Perfect. Awesome. It pays to listen to TWiP Weddings. So
totally.
Oh, excellent. All right. Hey, if you got time, normally we got a couple of other segments of the show that we normally do. Do you feel like taking on a quick listener question, since you are a wedding photographer?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I'd love to.
Each week we try to pull a listener question that we answer on the show. And this week we've got a question from Robert. And Robert is asking, he wants to know, what's the #1 photography-related purchase or investment that you regret spending money on? Regret, yeah. What's the one thing you've maybe spent money on that you're like, that I shouldn't have spent money on that. That was that was an impulse buy, or something that just didn't pan out the way you thought it would.
Well, my friend, I think you have to work through regret in your life, man, because the way I see it is like there's no regrets, baby. No. Like seriously, like I've done really stupid stuff, but like everything's a learning situation. Like I've advertised with the wrong companies. I've purchase things that have been totally useless, but I mean, to me, that's like, now I know never to do that again. And
right, you learn.
So I will say, like, don't ever regret anything completely. Just kind of like move on, take it for a learning experience. But I will say, like, there was like this time I was like super fascinated with Ryan Brennheiser and how he lit everything, and I still am. I think he's an amazing like photographer. And I bought this like crazy like triple like flash mount, so I could like, burn the eyes out of my clients if I wanted to. I was just cleaning up my studio and I found that thing, and I bought it on Amazon with all these like wires, so I can like connect all these like flash heads and radio triggers, and it was seriously still in the packaging. Like I hadn't ever touched it, because I think I got this thing and I was like, it was just like, I was like, I don't even know how to like, what would I do with 3 flashes on one mount? I don't even know what I would do with that. So yeah, maybe I would like my $20 back from that, and like buy some sushi or something.
Nice. Yeah. I tried to think about this too, and I was like, is there anything that I really regret? Like you, like I think, you learn. Like I always say, you never fail at anything. You just learn what not to do, right, the next time. Like everything always is a teaching experience. I'm sure there's probably a few things that are laying in my closet of neglected gear that got used once because I thought it would be, a good idea to get this thing or buy it. I have camera bags that fit that mold. Like I probably have 2 or 3 camera bags that, I thought, this is going to be good. I'll get this. And then I got it. I do have one that I regret spending money is I bought one of those stupid, like those photojournalists, like photo vests, with like the attachment, because I was doing a lot of event photography, right? And I regret buying that.
Yeah. I mean, I will say though, like on a practical note, be really, really wise about like how you spend your advertising. That is one thing. I have spent money on advertising that has just been totally freaking useless. But like the thing about that is like you don't know. It's like sometimes you just don't know like what now what does work. Like I have advertising that works amazing, and I have other photographers that have asked me, and like, hey, what do you do? Or what do you think of this? Or what do you think of that? And I just say, listen, just like, no matter what I say, it works for my brand and my identity and my clients and the people I'm looking for and my entire like freaking business system. So there's never to like, oh, I'm just gonna like pay for advertising, it's gonna work. But do really be like smart about how you spend money on advertising, because it is like really easy to lose money in that really quickly and feel very disappointed. But like advertising is just like one part of a multi-parted system or a multi-segmented system to eventually like get a sale. So yeah, I will say that maybe that's helpful.
That's a good tip. Yeah, I like that. Excellent. Well, hopefully that helps Robert, and if hopefully Robert doesn't have too many regrets in life, but
yeah.
There we go. Cool. Well, before we wrap up, we also want to do our picks of the week. Each episode, we'll share a photography-related item that we think would be a benefit to wedding photographers. And our picks can be anything as long as they're somehow related to photography or the business of photography. So, Ben, what have you got for our listeners this week?
Okay, so I am a huge proponent of education, and I'm even a larger like supporter of like self-growth, self-help, I guess you could say, because I like have like basically all my successes are due to getting over shit that I have built upon my own like mental capacities about like how valuable I am and my own capacity as an artist. So mine is a book, not photography related, but
that's all right.
More life related. It's by a guy named Lewis Howes. It's called The School of Greatness. And Lewis actually had he has a podcast called The School of Greatness as well, which is also super, super positive, really great message. Very interesting guy, but his message is just really awesome. He basically like interviews people that are super successful, and he just dives in and says, what's up? Like, how'd you get here? What is it? And it's broken down into like all these different sections. Like there's just one section that's like the hustle. And it's just really cool. He's very thoughtful about like what it takes to be successful. And it's like really no bullshit. Like it's like, I find it really motivating, and I actually haven't even finished the book because like the information is so good, and then I go and implement it, that I get really excited about it. But yeah, Lewis Howes, The School of Greatness. I have it on my Amazon Kindle, but you can actually buy the book too.
Excellent. That's a great pick. No, I'll have to definitely check that out and check out that podcast too. That sounds great.
Yeah.
So we'll link to that. Cool. Well, my pick this week is a really cool app. So recently I found out about this app. Have you heard about this app called Sun Scout?
Brother. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to tell you what I have. But yes, no, I haven't heard Sun Scout.
Yeah.
I thought I had the app, but then I was like, no, it's another one.
Different so this one's pretty cool. So what you can do with it is you can actually so it turns on the camera and you point it at the sky, and you find where the sun is at that moment in the sky, and then it'll actually overlay on the as you pan your phone around, it'll show you where's the sun going to be at exact times during the rest of the day, or you can even jump ahead to like months or a year out. And you just sort of, so you can pan your phone around where you're going to be shooting, and then it'll actually show you where at, say, you want to know at 9:15 where exactly is the sun going to be. You can point your phone to that area of the sky, and it'll actually overlay and show you exactly where the sun's going to be in the sky at that exact time.
Yeah. So really cool app. I have a very similar app that I've been using for a few years, and it's like for location scouting. It's like the best.
Yeah. What's it called?
Sun Surveyor.
Sun Surveyor. Okay. Yeah. So
yeah, which is also on iOS, but that's cool. I'd be really curious to see what like Sun Scout is, because I like the Sun Surveyor is very like minimalist, kind of like wiry 1980s like geeky look. It's very useful, but I'm really curious as like what the interface on Sun Surveyor is.
This one's pretty good. It's a live view, so it's basically using the camera, and so it's about I think it's $13.99. So it's not an inexpensive app relative to other apps that you can get for I think we're all used to like every app now should be like 99 cents or $1 or $1.99 or something. But so it's a little relatively expensive, but in the grand scheme of things, it's $13.99. So it's like two lattes at Starbucks. So
yeah, right. Well, I stopped going there. I just got my own espresso machine.
Yeah, nice.
Pretty excited about that.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of another episode of TWiP Weddings. I want to thank Ben for coming on the show this week. If you're listening to the show on our website, please subscribe to the show using the box on the right. Also, you can sign up for our email list to be notified of new episodes and also get exclusive subscriber bonuses. And if you have feedback, suggestions, or comments about the show, you can reach us directly by using our contact form. Just click on the Contact Us menu item at the top of the page. So before we bid adieu, what do you got coming up, Ben? And where can people go if they want to find out about Gifyyy Booth, or even see your photography or follow you?
Yeah. So I'm actually kind of taking a break right now. I've just been traveling like non-stop to all sorts of different shows. But yeah, we'll be at Imaging USA. We'll be at like WPPI. We're gonna be at Mystic seminars. That's one of our favorites. Canada Photo Convention way up north. We'll be at Stockholm. High on Life, which is going to be Hawaii in March of 2017. So we will be at a lot of shows, and we're really excited about it. But yeah, if you, as I said, Gifyyy, Gifyyy, Gifyyy.com. Our contact information is on there. If you want to check out my actual wedding photography brand, it's called This Is Feeling Photography, and that's just thisisfeeling.com. And you can get a feel for our work on there.
Nice, awesome, good stuff. And if you're looking for me, you'll find me over at my website at momentsindigital.com, or you can follow me on most of the social networks at Bruce Clark, Clark with an E at the end, except for Snapchat, Bruce Clark 2, because there was already a Bruce Clark on Snapchat. So
jerk.
Yeah, jerk. I'm going to find that Bruce Clark. So that was just because I didn't adopt Snapchat early enough. So
yeah,
I learned. Yeah. There's my regret. There's my regret.
There's your regret. Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. And of course, be sure to visit our website at thisweekinphoto.com for this show and all the other great shows that are part of the TWiP network. And thanks again for listening to TWiP Weddings, raising the bar one wedding at a time.